I don't want to see a woman as the Democratic nominee for president, not because I don't think it's time, but because I think she will lose. Because I think America is still very sexist when it comes to its elected leaders.
It's always the mediocre white men with micropenises that have a white male patriarchy disorder. That's really white of you to say that, sir. Yeah, I know what color I am. I'm not stupid most days. So instead of solving the problem of sexism and white supremacy and racism, your solution is let's just deal with it later. I don't give a shit what you have to say, sir. I don't care how smart you think you are. You're not a woman in this country. 77 million people voted for a person, a white man, because you said don't vote for a woman, who assaults women and is currently protecting men that sexually abused and molested little girls on Epstein Island. He calls women fat, he calls women ugly. And instead of addressing that, you want to be a smartass and think that you're smarter than now. Now's not the time. But see, this is what white people have done since 1619, going back to the Middle Passage. Now's not the time. Just kick the can down the road. I'm a white man. It doesn't affect me. I don't care as long as fascism is slowed down. See, this is what you don't get. You're going to have to go through this like everybody else in this country. Every other white person that still doesn't get it. You're going to have to suffer through this nightmare together. We're all stuck in this horror show. It's like, Nightmare on Elm Street, America, 2026 version. 1930s Germany. Because this country has a lot of people like you that refuse to address why we're here. Why don't you go talk about that? I used to work with engineers at refineries and power plants and Genentech. The smartest people, great, wonderful, nice people. But their people skills were not very good because they weren't social. You think that you're extremely intelligent. You think very highly of yourself. You're not that smart, but you are. But your people stupid. Because you don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation. You want to kick the can down the road because you're a white man. Now, if you can't see that, sir, I can't help you. But there are more people that look like me, white dudes, that are sick of this white male patriarchy because that's what you represent. You represent white people that don't want to see what it is. And right now, that's what we're seeing a lot of. A lot of white people that are like, this isn't who we are. No, how could this be? This is who we've always been, my friends. This is how America's always been. But too many of us have acted like this mediocre white man. And we've walked around like this while black people, Asians, women, anybody, Native Americans, anybody that's not a man like this guy that thinks he's so smart. And they just want to act like it doesn't affect them. So, hey, whatever, who cares? And that has to stop. That's not fair to women. We have to go through this metaphorical fire together. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you a story. When I was in Yellowstone 2 years ago, there was a lodgepole pine needle, a seed, okay? It sits on the ground and it has this resin on the outside of it. It'll sit on the ground from years to decades. The only thing that removes that resin that allows that seed to sprout are extreme temperatures in excess of 122 to 140 degrees, I think, something like that. The old growth goes down, the seeds go in the ground, and new trees come up. And sir, that's what has to happen in this country. We might have to burn this thing to the studs. And people like you, you're not going to know what the hell to do. Well, I looked at reports. We can't talk about racism. Oh, it's misogyny. Let's kick it down the road. I have no idea how we got here. Looking at all the data that I have, this isn't right because you don't live in the real world. You look at statistics. You are unable to put yourself in the feet of a black person or a woman or an Asian or an immigrant or a Somalian, etc., etc. Those are people. They're not numbers. When they hear people like you say this, it says, I don't give a shit about you. As long as I'm not affected, I'm not going to fight for you. That time is over. And if this administration, as putrid as it is, if that's what it's going to take for this country to wake up and to take the resin of racism and misogyny out of this country, then let it burn. Because until white people start to feel the effects of what it's been like to be a woman or a person of color in this country, they ain't never going to change. And that goes for you, sir. So are you going to be on the right side of history, sir, or the white side? But good luck with your stats. But when you're ready to talk about the actual problem of this country and not buy into the white male patriarchy and just dismiss misogyny, let me know. I'd love to have that conversation with you. Have a white day.